Hot air balloons can travel for miles, land surprisingly close to a target, and yet somehow they don't have a steering wheel. No rudder, no engine, nothing pointing them forward. So how does a pilot control something that literally floats wherever the wind goes? Because at first glance, hot air balloons make no sense. If the wind decides the direction, shouldn't the pilot be completely helpless? But they aren't. Experienced balloon pilots can often predict where they'll land before they even take off, which sounds less like flying and more like magic. But the real answer is much stranger. Let's figure that out right here on Unlogic. At its core, a hot air balloon works using one simple principle. Hot air is less dense than cold air. The burner blasts fire into the balloon, heating the air inside. As the air heats up, its molecules spread farther apart, making it lighter than the colder air outside. And the denser outside air pushes the balloon upward. That's why adding heat makes the balloon rise. And when the pilot wants to descend, they can either stop heating the air or pull a cord called the parachute valve. This opens a vent at the very top of the balloon, dumping hot air almost instantly. Basically, a giant down button. Simple. But that only explains up and down, not left and right. So where does the steering happen? The answer is hidden in the sky itself. Most people imagine wind as one giant invisible force moving in a single direction. But the atmosphere is actually layered. At one altitude, the wind might be moving east. Just a few hundred feet higher, it could be moving north. Higher still, it might suddenly shift west. It's basically a stack of invisible rivers flowing in different directions. And balloon pilots use those rivers to navigate, because hot air balloons don't steer horizontally. They rise or descend until they find a wind current moving the direction they want. That's the trick. If the pilot wants to move east, they climb into an eastbound layer. Want to turn south? Descend into a lower current moving south. The pilot isn't controlling the balloon itself. They're choosing which moving layer of air carries them. And suddenly, the impossible starts making sense. The balloon isn't fighting the atmosphere, it's surfing it. But this creates another problem. How does the pilot know which wind layers go where? You can't exactly see the air. And that's why weather balloons exist. Every single day, thousands of weather balloons are launched around the world, carrying instruments called radiosondes. As they rise, they measure altitude, temperature, pressure, and most importantly, wind speed and direction. That data gets fed into weather models that map how the atmosphere is moving at different heights. Balloon pilots study these wind charts before takeoff. So before the flight even begins, the pilot already has a rough map of the invisible rivers above them. And this is why balloon flights usually happen near sunrise or sunset. During the day, the sun heats Earth unevenly. Roads heat faster than grass. Parking lots heat faster than lakes. That creates rising bubbles of unstable hot air called thermals. And if a balloon gets caught in strong thermals, the ride can become unpredictable fast. But early in the morning, before the ground fully heats up, the atmosphere becomes smoother and far more stable. Perfect for controlled drifting. And here's the weirdest part of all. Even when a balloon is moving through the sky at 20 miles per hour, inside the basket, you barely feel any wind. Because you're moving with the air around you. To the passengers, it feels almost completely still. You're not moving through the atmosphere. You're moving with it. A balloon is less like an airplane and more like a leaf floating down a river. Which means hot air balloon pilots aren't really steering in the normal sense. They're reading the atmosphere, switching between invisible wind currents, and letting the sky do most of the work. And maybe that's what makes hot air balloons feel so magical. Not because humans learned to conquer the sky, but because we learned how to drift with it. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe, because this channel is all about breaking down things that look like magic and revealing the logic hiding underneath. And this is Unlogic.